I'm joined by an incredible man that is doing phenomenal things, and I am honored to be here sharing this platform with him. I will introduce him very shortly, but today I want to walk you through what you should be expecting. So, the show is about business beyond borders, and we are talking about expansion, we're talking about growth, we're talking about opportunity and employment. Now, joining me is Claude Moodley, who is the Executive Manager of Export Development and Promotion, Trade and Investment in KwaZulu-Natal. Claude, how are you doing this afternoon?
Very well, Kelly. Thank you so much for this invitation and to be part of the program. As you indicated, my name is Claude Moodley. A very warm welcome to your listeners as well, and hopefully we will share some good information around business. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. Now, if you want to learn more about business, you've got questions, or you are involved in business yourself, you can join in the discussion on 060-904-1056. That's our direct WhatsApp line where we will attend to your messages shortly. First, I want to highlight how important trade is and how it plays a significant role in South Africa's economy, contributing to growth, employment, like I said in the beginning, and a global competitiveness, both informal and informal trade. And with that, I would like to ask Claude, what are some of the best, or the biggest rather, opportunities in South Africa right now for people that are looking to expand their business?
No, thanks, Kelly. I think the emphasis currently is on SME development, really trying to ensure that we have an inclusive economy.
Yeah.
And also emphasis is really to try and ensure that the youth and women in business are empowered to take up opportunities. And it's not just to create opportunities for business locally, but to expand their borders to include national and also international. So there are specific programs and opportunities for those type of SMEs to take advantage of so that they can become sustainable businesses and trade internationally. So it's not just meant for the bigger companies out there.
Yeah.
The message that we're trying to say is that SMEs are also able to expand their business and take advantage of international opportunities.
And I know it's a good thing to always begin with some good news, but along with that comes some challenges. And what are some of the biggest challenges in South African businesses that are facing entering the foreign market, like you said, talking about global scale?
Yeah. Well, in fact, you've got to do your homework. We've got to understand what are the actual regulatory matters and requirements to take a product into an international market. So a lot of emphasis is on doing our homework, right? Understanding what are the packaging requirements, what are the labeling requirements, and all of those details in terms of getting your product into an international market. Thereafter is really having a solid plan in terms of an export marketing plan. That export marketing plan is definitely going to give you an indication of what resources you need to allocate in terms of building your business. So it's not just finance, but it's also the effort and the skills that you need to attach into that business to make it international, and to make sure your products can be produced within a specific time frame and meet international standards. So it's really about having that export marketing plan in place. It's really about understanding what the market requirements are. And remember, different markets have different requirements.
Yes, 100%.
And even taste profiles. You would see, for example, in China, you may see somebody that will sell a packet of chips that has got a seafood type of flavor, but that may not aspire to somebody in the Middle East, So that's type of the flavor differences, the taste. So you got to understand the market. You've got to know what the market requires. Do your homework, look at the regulatory matters, and then make your product match the demand in that market.
Wow. So there is a lot of homework in there, lots of research is needed. Now, how important is localization when expanding abroad?
Well, that's it. It actually continues from my last point, is that you've got to understand localization is twofold. One fold is understanding the local demand. So which means know what your customer wants, right? And then build your product to suit that. Okay. Also, in terms of ensuring that you use the local networks in terms of distribution, in terms of market access, and it's no more about just selling a product into a market. It's about building that relationship. So in terms of localization, you've got to think about how do you make those long-term relationships, and in terms of that, you then provide a good solution in terms of products into a market, and a sustainable solution. It cannot just be us selling a product based on a price, because tomorrow somebody else will come along and will fill that spot, if it's just based on price. The other element of localization is really in terms of how we look at our supply chains internally. Are we actually procuring products or importing a lot of our raw materials and ingredients, or can we localize that? Because if we localize it, there's an opportunity for us to have better control of the products in terms of quality. We have opportunity to manage that supply chain more effectively in terms of quality and quantity as well. So that element of localization plays a twofold. One, in terms of understanding the international market and its distribution network, and how you plan to look at your route to market, and secondly, in terms of managing your local supply chain to ensure that you're efficient in terms of product supply.
Now, coming to South Africa, we are involved with many organizations, many developed countries. We've partnered up with them, including BRICS. How has that positioned us in terms of the African Continental Free Trade Area, and how has it opened up meaningful trading opportunities for us?
No, I think that's quite an important question. So, in terms of the BRICS, we look at what the BRICS Plus countries are now bringing to the table, and we see in the inclusion of the BRICS Plus, we've got the likes of Egypt, Algeria.
Yeah.
You've got UAE as well, and Iran. And that trading bloc now has increased to around, I think, 36% of the global GDP, At the same time, it's catering for a population of close to 46% of global population, So it's a big market that has now been established, but it's how we now take our products to those markets.
Yeah.
Okay. Within the BRICS countries, we've got good relationships with China, with Russia, with India as well. We've done a number of trade missions into China recently. China has also opened up another opportunity in terms of an international import exhibition. It's running for the last 3 to 4 years now, where they are actually promoting the importation of products into China as opposed to the exportation of products. So that really creates an opportunity for us to send products into that market, knowing that, there's a 1.4 billion population that is going to consume this product, So it's a huge market. So we've done some great work in terms of exhibitions into China. There is an exhibition at the end of the year called the Maritime Silk Road exhibition, which we are going to be advertising and recruiting companies to participate in. And that trade show is an opportunity for companies to actually penetrate the Guangdong region of China. It's one of the biggest economic regions as well. We look forward to sharing that information with the audience as well.
Amazing stuff. Now, before we get into that, I would like us to just narrow down this information to a normal person, an ordinary person listening right now. They're hearing business and they're thinking big words, they're thinking big opportunities. But how can a normal South African, an ordinary person for that matter, benefit with this information, with this kind of opportunity that is available to us?
Well, it's quite easy, Firstly, get in touch with organizations like Trade and Investment KZN, right? We provide export development or capacity building type of programs to enhance the skills of small and medium-sized businesses so that they are export ready. Okay, so I think that's the first opportunity. So we've got a very detailed export development program that covers everything from awareness to training to mentorship to
Wow.
technical support. Yeah, so
Wow.
it's quite extensive. And in addition to that, we then also provide what is called market access opportunities in terms of now attending the local or national or international exhibitions. So you can as a layman out there, a small business that you want to participate, here's opportunities not only in terms of development but also in terms of market access. And we do also host inward delegations from time to time, and where there's opportunities to link that foreign delegate with a KZN business, we would create those opportunities as well.
I love the fact that there is room for growth for any person that is willing to learn and grow and expand their knowledge and wisdom and practices. I want us to bring into the transformation of, AI, digital transformation, and so much of technology that is evolving right now, and it's affecting businesses and it's affecting many industries, actually all industries. How is that helping us in South Africa in the SMEs of global scale?
I think that's a very important question. I think it all evolves around what is called digitalization. How do you take your business and take advantage of what digital platforms and tools have to offer? So it depends on companies, individual companies, but in terms of market access, companies need to take advantage of what is called e-commerce platforms. You got to have a digital footprint in terms of your website. I mean, the first thing that exporting companies should have is a digital profile.
Yes.
Because when you're exporting, we're far away. We're at the bottom of the African continent. You want to export into Europe or to UAE and so on. They are going to check out your credibility. The easiest way to do that, they sit on the computer and go and check, okay, where is your business? So if you don't have a website, or if you don't have a digital presence, then you already are fighting against a tide now, So you got to look at creating that. Using AI is a wonderful resource. I think there's a lot that we need to learn about how do we benefit from AI. It's not about just chat GPT and taking, information and processing information, but it's looking at how do we analyze data, how do we use data to make informed decisions. So we've got some very good online tools that we could share with companies, and we could work with companies. For example, if a company, a small business, want to identify an opportunity or market for his product, we've got a tool called the Decision Support Model. It's called DSM. Where we're able to take the product code or the definition of the product, description of the product, put it into this crystal ball, and it'll tell you where in the world are the best opportunities for those.
Wow!
So it's got a artificial intelligence built into it. But it's based on sound trade data, yes, it's a wonderful tool, and we use that now to help companies build their export marketing plan. So now that you know where you can take your product, you can now focus what is the requirements in that market. You can do your research. You can get what are the trade barriers in terms of requirements, and then you can build the strategy to get your product into the market. So, as I mentioned earlier, we cannot just say we're going to trade tomorrow, export tomorrow, and expect to send the product. It's not. This is not DHL, or it's not just couriering a product overseas. You've got to look at what is called sustainable trade. How do we put product into a container? How do we make sure that we take products and benefit from that volume? It's about scalability. It's about how do we benefit from the volumes now in terms of going into a foreign market.
You spoke about the importance of digital profile and, how AI and technology can be a good resource, to advance or enhance businesses. But there are some people that feel South Africa hasn't reached the level of many other countries, developed countries like China and Japan in terms of technology. So how does that position us in the business world? Is it an advantage? Is it a learning opportunity? How do we go on about that?
I think if we take the approach of skills transfer and upgrading ourselves on a continuous basis, we can compete with anybody and any country out there, right? So technology is something that we can partner. There's an opportunity for us to look at engaging in terms of investment opportunities. for that technology transfer. So it doesn't mean that we may not have, for example, electric vehicles
Yes.
or manufacturing of electric vehicles in South Africa, that we can't have electric vehicles on the road. No, it's about how do we bring that in, and how do we then look at the business opportunities for that. So I think technology is an opportunity for us to look at partners out there that we can work with, that we can bring the skills in. We do have a number of programs that brings in international expertise as well. So we partnered with the Swiss Import Promotion Organization, where we are able to work with buyers and businesses and other business support organizations internationally to look at best practices. Right? We also have an international mentorship program support through the Netherlands government called the POM program. And that type of support is available to all businesses in KZN on an application process, and we're able to bring through those programs experts that are able to also spend time at your business over a period of time.
Wow.
There are some cost implications, but most of it is subsidized by foreign stakeholders as well.
Amazing. You are on Minara Business Matters here on Radio Al Ansar, 90.4 FM if you are in Durban, 105.6 FM if you're in PNB, and anywhere else around the world in www.alansar.org.za. I'm joined by Claude Moodley, who is the Executive Manager of Export Development and Promotion, Trade and Investment in KwaZulu-Natal. We're going to take a short break and then come back with some success stories and, of course, your messages on 0609041056.
Radio Al Ansar.
Al Ansar Outreach invites you to make a difference. Donate your gently used cloaks and kurtas for all ages, men, women, boys and girls. Items will go to madrasas, old age homes and communities in need. Drop off at 207 West Road, Overport, or call 031-208-1601. Your contribution brings warmth, dignity and hope.
This segment is brought to you by Kenfield Auto, your RMI approved service and repair specialist. 236 Brickfield Road, Overport. Kenfield Auto.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. ربنا افتح بيننا وبين قومنا بالحق وأنت خير الفاتحين.
Car won't start?
Kenfield Auto.
Noisy brakes?
Kenfield Auto.
Due for a service?
Kenfield Auto. Kenfield Auto, the answer to all your car problems. Your service and repair specialist for your VW, Audi, Suzuki, Toyota, or just about any vehicle. Kenfield Auto, your RMI and insurance approved workshop to handle them all. 236 Brickfield Road, Overport. Call us on 031-207-2399. Kenfield Auto.
Experience Giyarwi Sharif in Baghdad and a full Iraq Ziyarat tour with Show Mirage Travel, 28 September to October 9th, 2025. Visit Baghdad, Kazimain, Karbala, Najaf, Kufa, and more with a Cairo stopover. Return flights, visa, insurance, hotels, and transfers included. Personally escorted by Ridwan Ismail from 41,786 per person. Call 031-208-4222 or email ridwan@miragetravel.co.za. Show Mirage Travel. We take you there.
Station for conversation, Radio Al Ansar.
Allahumma inni a'udhu
Radio Al Ansar. 365.
من كل شيطان رجيم أنت العفو فاعف عني أنت الغفور الرحيم اللهم إني أعوذ بجلال وجهك الكريم من كل شيطان رجيم أنت العفو فاعف عني
In our business matters on Radio Al Ansar every Monday, 7 to 8 p.m. We are speaking about business beyond borders. How can you expand? How can you grow? How can you scale? And we also would love to read your messages. So send them through on 0609041056. I see one, which I'm going to attend to later. I am joined by Claude Moodley, who is the Executive Manager, Export Development and Promotion, Trade and Investment in KwaZulu-Natal. We're speaking about how you can take your business from local to international, the opportunities available, and of course the many ways that you can sell the business, not just because of pricing, okay, but to also add value, the market chain. And now we are talking about the success stories of South African companies. Claude, I would like you to really help me with this one. You know, when we speak about success stories, most of us want to hear numbers of how many millions you made. I think that's very successful. But what are some of the success stories that you'd like to tell us of people that scaled beyond borders effectively? And even if it doesn't include the millions, what opportunities were there that you consider as successful?
Great. And I think just the issue of success stories on its own, it's quite important that companies hear and learn from companies that have done well. You know, we just had a wonderful program called Halal Exports Capacity Building. It's a training program that we held on the 23rd and 24th of June. It was done in collaboration with Minara Chamber, National Independent Halal Trust, and South African National Halal Authority, you know. And in that the 2-day program, we managed to actually get 2 companies to talk about their successes, you know, because we thought it'll be important for the audience to learn from companies that have done it. So I'll just give you a little bit of a snapshot of these 2 companies.
Yes.
One was Minnie's Food, and I'm sure you all are familiar with Minnie's Food, especially the delicious sauces that they manufacture. And that is a family-owned business, you know.
Wow.
And they have really done well over the last, I would say, 8 to 10 years in terms of accessing international markets. But they've done their homework. So they did their homework. They identified where they want to go. We worked with them as well in terms of certain areas where there was elements for capacity building or training. We did work with them on certain elements as well. But the crux of the business was done by the owners of the business. So it's about the effort that they put in. When the owners of the business went to a trade fair, in whether it was in Dubai or Oman, they would be at the trade fair from the morning till 7 o'clock in the evening, standing, promoting their products, you know. And out of that comes the trade leads, out of that comes the opportunities for export. So it's about the work and the effort that you put in. Right. So that is an excellent case of how Minnie's Foods is exporting now into GCC, into UAE, into Oman, you know, for example, and Saudi as well. It's through doing the homework, it's through ensuring that where they've got issues in terms of capacity building or efficiencies, address those matters, but then take advantage of those trade events and trade fairs. But when you're at the trade fair, actually work the trade fair. Make sure that it's not just attendance, but it's actually taking advantage of the leads that comes out of it and follow up and so on. So that's one example. Another company that did well was E-Class Foods. They manufacture confectionery products. Also, halal certified company, and it's a pastry type of or confectionery type of products that you manufacture, and they managed to take the product into UAE as well. Participated at Gulf Foods. Gulf Foods is one of the biggest food and beverage shows in Middle East, and they've participated for like 3 to 4 years consistently, and they managed to actually break into some of those markets. But yet again, it's about perseverance. It's about, you cannot just go to a trade fair and expect at that trade fair you're going to clinch all the deals. No, you've got to go in there. You gotta. It's a long race, and it's also about your credibility. people will, the first year, they just walk by, they look at your product. The second year, they may sit down and have a conversation. The third year, then they said, okay, can we look at your samples? So there is progression in terms of how you break into a market. It just doesn't happen. So it's about perseverance. It's about also investing in your business. You've got to invest in terms of your promotional material, in terms of your samples, in terms of your products. Change the packaging to suit that industry. Look at the translation. Look at from English to Arabic or to Chinese or Mandarin. If you are
very important.
So those are two success stories in terms of how we supported these companies, but how they've supported themselves more especially. You know, in terms of financials, they've done really well. I mean, these businesses have got well-established businesses, factories that produce their products. So you've got to own the value chain. Okay, it doesn't mean that traders can't do well, but you've got to have some control of the manufacturing, of understanding that actual value chain. Because when your product goes out there, you're answerable for the quality, you're answerable for the shelf life of that product, and so on.
Somebody might be listening right now and thinking, hey, but I'm putting in the effort, I'm putting in the work. What is that I'm doing wrong? In your opinion, what do you think are some of the mistakes that South African businesses, do mostly when entering the international market?
Well, I think the first thing is not understanding the requirements, the actual regulatory requirements. I'll explain it to you in an example. We had a client that exported product into, I think it was Turkey, and the product was quarantined by customs. Well, now the issue there wasn't that the product or one of the ingredients was a banned substance. It was just because one of the ingredients was not listed on the labeling. So it was just a simple thing like that. It just wasn't listed on the labeling. So they were given three choices. First choice, we can destroy the products at your cost. Or we could return the product to you at your cost. Or the third item is that you could come and relabel it, fix it up, and then you can clear customs. So the company chose, because this was a new market, they chose the third option was to look at getting the product fixed and then into that market. And now they actually have done some subsequent orders there. But it was a costly exercise.
Yes.
So you got to do your homework in terms of that. So the point is, come and have a conversation with us as Trade and Investment KZN. What we do is we sit down with you, we try to understand your business. We visit your company, we go out to your factory, understand what's your capabilities, what's your capacity to export, do you have the resources, where are some of the challenges, and where we can help you, we try to put that program together to support you. But where there's an opportunity for us to make a referral to other entities. I mean, remember, within the support network, you've got the likes of SATFA, which is the Small Enterprise Development and Financial Agency, which is the merger of CIFA and CEDA, right? So they provide business development support and financial solutions. You've got the Department of Trading, Industry and Competition that provide support as well. So there's so many different entities that's there, including Trade and Investment KZN, that companies can benefit from. So the point is, come and have a conversation with us. It cannot only be that you'll hear about TI KZN when you at a conference or even on radio. It does boil down to a one-on-one solution and a conversation so that we are able to make sure that solutions are tailor-made to individual companies.
There you have it, an invite to come and have a conversation with Trade and Investment KZN. So feel free to reach out. They're more than willing to assist you to grow. For local entrepreneurs that are listening or wondering, how can they prepare themselves for international expansion, even though they might have limited resources? What would you say to them?
Okay, let me look at just identifying 6 areas. Number one, product readiness. Make sure that your product is ready for the market, right? In terms of its standards, in terms of packaging, in terms of labeling. I think I've been mentioning this a few times.
Yes.
Production capacity. Understand in terms of your capabilities, right? Can you scale up because you need to push out an order within 3 weeks, or do you need to outsource? So you need to understand your capabilities, but not only in terms of production, but also in terms of quality. So it's the quality aspect.
Very important.
Yeah, the quality aspect, the cost, and in terms of meeting deadlines. Financial strength and commitment. You've got to be able to invest in your production or invest in your product, but also in your business. And wait for that to mature. It's an investment.
Yeah.
You don't expect to put the money in and
see the
get it
results
tomorrow.
immediately.
No.
It's a gradual process.
And especially with exports, it's going to take you 2 months or 3 months before you turn around that funding. I mean, that investment as well, So in terms of your cash flow, so you got to manage that. Operational capabilities, understand your operations, but it doesn't only stop within your factory. You gotta understand and own the supply chain.
Yeah.
When I say supply chain, know how your products come in, your raw materials, how is it processed, and how does it leave your factory to go to the customer. And you're gonna look at dealing with reputable logistics companies, so you know that that your product is going to arrive at the customer. And so on and so on. I think the other two elements really about legal compliance that also deals with regulations, but in terms of market entry strategy, you got to understand what is your market entry strategy. What is your route to market? Are you going to take your product and deal with a distributor, or are you going to deal with an agent, or are you going to go direct and set up a store in a foreign market and sell out there? So you got to understand what is your route to market. So I think those are the 6 areas that they can look at, in terms of really, understanding their business, and also looking at areas for improvement.
What support, government and the private, is available for South Africans to grow their business internationally?
Okay, as I mentioned, within trade and investment, we've got both the development and promotion support. So that takes care of market access, but there's a number of other stakeholders there. I've mentioned the CEDA or SADFA, which is really geared for business support services as well. They've got a national footprint, but a very good provincial footprint as well. So companies must take advantage of going to the offices, register, and let them analyze your business and provide support. The services are also subsidized in terms of product, or in terms of business support services. So that's the one element. There's the SETAs, the various SETAs that provide training, both your discretionary and mandatory type of training. Companies need to take advantage of that, and upskill their staff. We spoke about technology, we spoke about other areas as well, but those are the types of opportunities that's available in terms of training and skills transfer. Then you got the likes of DTIC, Department of Training, Industry and Competition. There's industry associations. There's quality or entities that are responsible for quality, like South African Bureau of Standards, SGS, TUV. So there's a whole body of network that's out there. Companies need to understand the ecosystem that they are within, and the type of support that's afforded through provincial government, through economic development and tourism, environmental affairs and tourism, through the different agencies, through even through your specialized economic zones as well. So those are the opportunities. So there's a lot of support out there. Companies just need to be able to do a little bit of research and then find an opportunity to actually discuss. So I'm going to share one opportunity.
Yes, please.
Go on to our export portal. It's a wonderful platform. It's a virtual library for export information, but you'll also find a whole list of industry associations and networks that companies can benefit from. It's on one platform. Okay.
Amazing. Now, we spoke about halal certified industry earlier on, but now looking at it from a global market, how are our companies in South Africa, or many industries in South Africa, how are they competing in the halal products in the global markets, especially in Middle East, in Southern Asia, and in Africa?
I think that's a very good question. By having some good conversations with the South African halal authorities, including SANA and NIHT, we do understand that you don't only have certification at a national, at a country level. There's also international certification, and international certification. There are there's different standards for different regions. For example, within the Middle East, there may be a different standard compared to what's happening in the ASEAN or in Malaysia.
Yes.
So it's good that to deal with entities that, especially if you're exporting, that your halal certification is credible in those markets. Right? Fortunately, with SANA and NIHT and other certifications, they have invested in those international certifications. So when they certify you, you actually benefit from the fact that they are also recognized internationally as well. So I think that's important, and companies need to be able to also leverage off that type of support. And then in terms of packaging, make sure also translation, words, the way you translate words, make sure that you deal with these entities. There are support from those entities in terms of translation services as well, and in terms of requirements as well, in terms of what your product should stay away from in terms of ingredients, or what should be some of the mandatory type of things that you should include in your product, especially your packaging. Yeah.
Now, what are some of the key regularity of satisfaction certification? I'm so sorry. Here we are. Can we take a moment to breathe? Let's take a moment to breathe. Now, back to the question. What are some of the key regularity of certification? Certification. Wow. This word is refusing. Okay. Challenges in South Africa that South African businesses face when exporting halal products.
Yeah. I think, as I mentioned, it's about this, the global or the international recognition of your halal certification. So if you got a product and you want to supply into a certain market, and you want it to be halal certified, do your homework in terms of the credibility of your local certification body, and how that certification is either recognized or compatible with the market that you are looking at supplying internationally. So I think that is really a very simple answer around that. In terms of certification, there are cost implications for it. But do have a discussion with any of the certification bodies. But if companies are looking for linkages in terms of how do they approach the certification bodies, they're welcome to contact us, and we can put them in touch with these entities as well. But the point is, do your homework. It's not the information is not going to just come on your table. If you're looking at going into a specific market, like you want to export into Malaysia, find out which is the best route that I need to look at in terms of certification.
Absolutely, very important point you mentioned there. The information won't just come to your table. You have to go in search of it. You have to put in the work, and we are bringing it to you for absolutely free. Look at that, amazing. Now, which specific halal products, categories show the most international demand, and how can South African producers tap into this? In your opinion, before you answer this question, I'd also want to add to the question, as South Africans, we want to expand, we want to grow, but is it always important for us to include our ethnicity, to include our background, to include our stories in this product, or just focus on what the demand is? What are the people asking for?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question.
Yeah,
I think beside the fact that there will be a demand for a product, but people want an experience.
Yeah,
they want to know what makes up that product. Where does the product originate from? And most of the time, if you are trying to export a product, unless it's a niche product, you are competing with another product out there. So you've got to be able to, differentiate your product. You've got to be able to
stand out.
And what makes your product stand out? I mean, Is it handmade? Is it does it have special features? So your competitive advantage in terms of that needs to come out. And if it's through a story, if it's through certain elements that that makes it different and unique, then yeah, by all means, that's what makes products sell as well. So I think that's a great thing that you mentioned. So coming back to some of the products in terms of halal products that are in demand now, we've seen a big increase. For example, okay, food and beverage products, right? That's food unites everybody, so that's quite an important. And people today are also looking for safety, in terms of food. So food safety, so halal food is in high demand now. So it's not only for the Muslim community. You see people of all walks of life purchasing halal product because of the food safety aspect of it. So I think so that's one element, is the food and beverage element. Then you've got we see red meat. There's been a major increase in red meat, or demand of red meat, especially in Africa or Middle East. So much so that we don't have the capacity. So there's an opportunity there in terms of how do we meet that demand. Also plant-based products. So vegetarian products. I mean, while we talk about red meat, on the other side you get people that want vegetarian products. And there's a great opportunity. So in terms of how do you manufacture and cater for that market as well. So yeah, I think those are some of the elements. Cosmetics industry, that's growing. Essential oils is growing. So how you are able to benefit from those raw material. Remember, in terms of South Africa or KZN, we've one of the most biodiversified countries with botanicals and all of these essential oils and natural ingredients. It's how we now add value to that and create products for the international market. We don't have to necessarily export our raw materials so that we can buy L'Oreal perfume at the end of the day, when we could possibly do something similar in terms of value addition.
And that brings us to the end of our conversation. Claude, it has been an absolute pleasure having you here with us this evening. But before I let you go, just quickly, what advice do you have for somebody that has been listening? I know we shared so much of information on ways that you could start, even with limited resources, the available opportunities out there. But from your experience, from your expertise, what advice do you have for somebody listening right now?
I think from my side is pick up your phone. Your phone is your computer. With your phone, you can do your research. Don't just go to the phone and play games or whatever it is. Use it as a tool. So even where you are now, go on to the phone. Look at the KZN export information portal. Look at what information is there. Do your research in terms of what is it that you could. Obviously, if you're a startup business, you've got to look at what are your skills, what are your attributes, how does that match your product that you want to get into, or business that you want to get into. But the point of the matter is, use the devices. Opportunities are not going to come to you. You've got to go to opportunities as well. Come and have a conversation with us at Trade and Investments. You'll be pleasantly surprised that we are very hands-on. So, and I think that's that for me to listeners out there. Where you are looking at expanding your business in terms of your markets, don't feel shy to pick up the phone and to give us a call. Our contact details are 083. In fact, sorry, I'll give you the landline, 031 368 9600. So it's 031 368 9600. Or you can get us on info@tikzn.co.za. So that would be a really great opportunity for us to continue this conversation with businesses. This is not the end. This is just the start to really share what we can do for businesses. And it's really the work will be done after this. Thank you.
Brilliant, right there. And that is the end of our program for this evening, the Minara Business Matters. We have been speaking about business beyond borders, how you can scale up your business. My name is Kelly Ramazani, and before you make a meme out of me, I can pronounce certification, okay? Thank you so much. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The title suggests many things. The important issue is the world revolves around business, society, organizations, individuals, and even religion survives and thrives because of business. Business has to encompass not just financial commodity and service transactions. It has also to include welfare, justice, empowerment, environmental, and other issues too. Every week, Business Matters will delve into aspects of business that impact our lives. We will seek out extraordinary and ordinary people who have done extraordinary things. Facilitators, educators, and entrepreneurs will be invited to inspire and enlighten our listeners. Join Anwar Mullah for an interactive show and find out what really matters in business.
Your perfect companion, Radio Al Ansar.
Welcome to Simplex Radio. Visit our showroom for the full range of car audio. Our TV department carries top brands with quality LED panels, full HD to Ultra HD, and now the experience of Super Ultra HD. Visit our theater rooms and transform your home with